Welcome to the Exposer. So this is a quick video of a story I saw Pastor Nikky post. She put on a story, then it went there. Listen, I know nothing other than what God did for me and what he's using me to do for others. Simple. But she's mentioning she knows what God wants her to do and he's using her to do for others. How can she even think that? With all of the things that has come out of her mouth, with all the idolizing a pastor and encouraging people to steal, borrow, do whatever you have to do to get money to give to PT for his birthday. This is the same lady that said this. This is the same lady that encouraged young girls to take their student finance to try and give like more than even the 10% to Pastor Toby. This is a lady who grooms in a different way. She comes away as a charming person, but her mission is to get that seed. That's her mission. I've mentioned before in the exposing video of Nikky that she was originally a nice lady, but she's one of the ones that's also been manipulated and brainwashed. She's fully brainwashed. Since being ordained as a pastor, she's become different and weird. Not even as a pastor, as a minister. Before she became a pastor, she became weird. She loved the responsibility and she looked up to PT so much. And yeah, it's turned her into this woman. But it's just the lack of remorse, the way that none of these Spac members seem to understand that they have damaged a lot of young people in our community and they don't want to accept anything or take responsibility for anything. And the only reason why they're like this is because the main man himself is still yet to come out and apologize for any wrongdoing. And that's just quite terrible. And then at the bottom of that story, she wrote, "It's time for the church to become a church." Oh, it's time for the church to be a church. What does that mean? So it means that the church hasn't been a church for a long, long time. And it's only now that they're realizing that. And if you can see, Spac have changed a lot since they're exposing, since all the publicity they've been getting and all of the negative news that's been covered around Spac Nation. And her putting out that statement, "It's time for the church to be church," means that they're almost accepting that they've not been a church for a very, 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 very long time. And I'm not going to say it's too late for them to become a church, but in order to become a church, you need to accept the wrongs that you have done, especially if you're supposed to be a so-called woman of God or men of God or a church of God, where you basically forgive. And as much as you can forgive someone, you should be quick to also apologize for doing a lot of damage. And this is what Spac Nation are yet to do. So it can't be time to become a church now when you're still trying to pretend that you don't know what's going on and you're still trying to pretend like you're not aware that you have damaged a lot of people. And as I speak to you guys right now, there's been loads of messages. I get messages every day from a Spac member, a former Spac member, or a friend of a Spac member just telling me how their friends have changed so much. They can't get access to them. How it's just gone crazy. How the letters that they're getting for the debts to their house, to their address is just accumulating. Like, I'm receiving these type of messages every single day. And we're talking about in the hundreds. There's over hundreds of people who went to Spac Nation who have issues and problems. And as you guys can see, authority is taking very long to even address anything. They're taking very long to make an arrest or even to question anyone. And it's not really encouraging anybody to want to publicly speak out because we're not seeing any sort of results. But I will do a video later on explaining what has actually happened since Spac Nation have been exposed and what impact it's had on their organization.